they know I'm not ready for me to start.
Oh, was it email?
Yeah.
Or... I'm good.
Jin.
Advantage 1 is instability, miscalculation, especially hand on the filling is already open, cover weighting 12-19. Moody's policy in chambers, American force, and the danger is first action all time, China, China, Russia, the opening to explore the more military factors, the military, military personnel, US escalation, or justification, and double down, raising miscalculation, and Iran is reactive and conflict is US driven, only the plan solves pillar 23. Actual escalation, military president of the Persian Gulf, and already some July, modest the fact that reactive United States all around beginning later summer season, all the different nations, obviously, that I see the leading wider war for political pressure, but the administration toward military escalation, lieutenant president against the de-escalation, attention, and miscommunication makes conventional war inevitable, shipment 23. Our communication sector all downloaded our professional helmets, each chapter, method of contacting a about when you can't communicate presence from miscalculation, escalation, easy de-escalation, really hard, and the threat of a conventional war ensures nuclear first strike as per IC Intel 19. United States are responding to some military competition. United States using military weapons that are military conventional capabilities that show competition or training nuclear strike. United States use forces to take that setting, eliminating the white and non-nuclear side. The United States is either own arriving on military president, the Persian Gulf after refuel through the war, and our the regional superpower, the fast and imminent conflict will not be capable of making the likelihood of the United States escalation to nuclear war and draws in every single great power to destroy civilization every 20. Iran escalated to World War III, conflict, one escalated to the war, middle war, Pakistan, China, Russia, allies, and all nuclear weapons to use intention by accident, smoke for 5 globally, Balkan, hydraulic cycle, ultimately agriculture, destroyed 500 times Nagasaki, and reducing our footprint prevents miscalculation, free riding, and unpopular intervention, McBride 23. Because some of the John the United States and Iraq was conflict and perfect enemies, charming the GSC remarked that the United States marched and for sure overseas base of base for the vote, the meeting allies, resident, conducted free riding, resident, alienating allies, but shepherd has a relationship from a real life they use with it. Even a monastery or back a lot for limit and for places started the Persian Gulf, the military cost a very high no price to generate the resistance outcome. The plan solves regional stability and increases burden sharing after 18. Instead of offshore balance, the diplomacy of the policymakers and military means all the actions are not achievable, offshore military rights and research offshore balance, other state balance, each other offshore balance will increase burden sharing the main what's affected offshore balance. We'll see that US diminished military support for the Gulf State, the Gulf State removed $1,000 million forces that based on by major basis and no longer sustainability to go back onshore. Foreign military presence inspires acute terrorism goals 21. The evidence of irrefutable military effective by combating terrorism before military presence generates more grave incident violence made by terrorism or the United States demonstrated the ability to target without significant presence, and thus the plan United States should reduce the foreign military presence in the form of large airfields, sports, pre-research equipment, ammunition, and military supplies in the West Asia region. The second advantage is the offshore balancing the entire region. It's key to a successful ground strategy chain based on places and relying on local partners, missile defense and robotic forces, solve deterrence and assurances manning in Wilson 21. Also, President of the United States reduced the foreign military presence in the form of large airfields, port pre-research equipment, ammunition, military supplies, as well as commitments in the region needs trade base to replace it with land arrangement and partners for missile defense and for example, Air Force One provider. This could be replaced with our ground missile, cruise on ballistic missile launch and maximize the robotic force of the advanced and forward the development drastically reduce resource that is the robotics as a battlefield to provide backup to special forces and putting the balance of power across the ability sharing better to rely much less on the military force and more than diplomacy, intelligence, and economics. The military presence causes the overstretch for realignment to terrorist China while the EU takes steps in the Middle East, Cooper 1211. The United States faces political reinforcement act and Ukraine and so far Israel, China, Russia, global power, rapidly embracing globalization, multiple world underway, American peace, the company to the north, and this is in the Pacific, invitation, and like China's at the forefront, should be partnership regarding the Pacific, but only American efforts to share resources. The hard party theaters that real alignment has a dramatic impact on security, stability, and balance of power in the Pacific, the United States, Iran, and supplement in multiple directions of the global order and European position, and Middle East will be greater assistance. And credibility is dead. Hill 23, universal of the United States, white the United States, a lot of the global humble, and Arabian Colorado withdrawal from Iraq, and together the Senate heard its credibility and bring up troops, resources, reduces overstretches necessary to restore East Asian assurances and deter Taiwan invasion, Taiwan, and what he told 1124. Injection of military entangling the United States commitment to Taiwan will be left more vulnerable than with the force in the Middle East war overshot lead the United States not building United States commitment to China and everlasting deployment of needed for conflict injection into deployment war system leading the United States around the resources. Taiwan war causes extinction, Petty John 22. Taiwan war threat escalation, Oscar the situation in Europe could be escalated modernization, and the nuclear arsenal unified big role. We will build nuclear safety with ability to take risk and ability to protect the nuclear weapon, the most effective 1,000 warheads and triple the number experts and other strategies decided to share products to different sharing the violence, the scope and intensity of the conflict, by China and necessary to go nuclear from the southern clear of the United States to de-escalate the conflict and offshore balancing for reserve privacy ensures domestic development and solves terrorism and proliferation. Bolton Mearsheimer 16. The United States continues to promote on water based on international institution calling the United States to uphold the balance of power in the region of the world. The vice president also balance the United States order and encourage other countries to take the leader of chicken rising cause the United States does invest in abundance of land and natural research of the population was making this comedy more sustainable military. The United States order and observational forces and the first line of defense are eliminating areas of the United States committed to defending all would reduce the resources and all eliminating free liberating on American powers nation or only seems rather than Australia balance one of reduce the risk of terrorism, liberation, and we also interfering with political political correct. President also nationalist was the most solid and ladders motivated President US troops and also bound to do better job on literature and meeting others trying to see the bomb because we bring a tiny effort of regime generally and consider also bound to give potential proliferators as we can go nuclear and military action can offer the determined country from obtaining nuclear weapons. The Pearl causes nuclear war coming 15. This sort of nuclear weapons not to the secret that is in international security nuclear war terrorism and instability for the proliferation before the matter goes to go that transition when they lack second check the season. Instead of the use first of the use to release the risk of fears from prices that even water matters at the risk of nuclear wars on the irrational decision of conflict and nations. Then have an option to do nuclear war escalate quickly to the risk of the games of regulation really creates the risk of nuclear war might frigid down with the features of the state of stability and resolution tries to result in a devastating nuclear exchange. Only the planned signals are returned into offshore bouncing R5 When invention and the military bomb is set on the opposite military no more stable than mechanic process and a rotor after rounds invention of protection of maxing overseas the public decision for better about honesty the general goal set in the first and defense Washington war and the deploying of the party of our military instead of dramatic reduce and the plan is the only solution to overstretch and instability. There's no effective deterrent and attainment leaves us unprepared for future crises happening our way in 1219. American and the provision of security local honesty and encouragement of the hand local defense and overcheck the results of watching unprepared for the crisis in the Pacific run by needed to deter the provision of risk mitigating device in the United States military presence in the Middle East economy adjust for reducing the presence in the world. The United States and military will be better off than Washington just pulls back.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Cool. Advantage 1, miscalculation risk is especially high now, written in December. Why has it not caused conflict yet?
That's the reason why the app is inherent. We're saying that it's going to happen probably tomorrow.
It might happen tomorrow, but when you see evidence indicates that.
Well, we're saying that it's on the brink. The fact that it's been written in December hasn't
It's on
happened,
the
but
brink.
we have evidence that
How much more escalation tensions do we need to trigger your internal link?
well, we don't know. We think that could happen at any point. That's the exact reason why the app is inherent. The 1AC is inherent because the impacts have not happened yet. But we have read specific evidence that tensions are rising. If you have not read evidence that tensions are decreasing.
US increased its presence on October 7th. Why hasn't that caused escalation or any 1AC or triggered any 1AC?
We have read evidence that tensions are increasing. That probably means that there's a strike.
The US has increased its presence in October. Why has that not triggered any internal link?
We're saying that it could potentially do so. We think that a retained presence in the region and can continued
What
engagement
does a
with
retained
Iran,
presence mean?
like staying in the region.
So we should stay in the region?
No, retained presence is what's causing the Iranian aggression.
Hormuz closure, global nuke war. Damayanti says that the Hormuz is necessary for the needs of every country. Why does that mean it will cause global nuclear war?
Because if other states require these straits and it closes, if it stops supplying supplies or oil or whatever it comes from the Strait of Hormuz to
What
them,
evidence indicates that those countries specifically only rely on the Strait of Hormuz for oil?
we're saying that there's tension in the strait and then that could burst out into a war. Other countries will come to its defense because they require the Strait of Hormuz.
Why?
Even if it's not 100% of all their income, they still require for a substantial portion.
Why does it draw in Russia and China?
They probably care about the Strait of Hormuz. They also
They
have
probably care about it. Like your Damayanti evidence does not name drop Russia or China.
Okay.
Then Russia and China won't be drawn in.
Well, specific to this scenario, probably not,
Why would they be drawn into the other scenario?
because Iran and
Why would the
United
US
States.
first strike Iran?
Well, the scenario is not United States first strike. Iran attacks us, and then we just nuke them to ensure victory.
Why does that not prove that US deterrence is key? Because the US can absolutely annihilate Iran.
Because we don't want the war in the first place, man. Like, Iran's gonna get mad, they're gonna strike us, we're gonna say, oh no, we want to prevent this war, so we're going to nuke them. But that draws in every other great power, because Iran has allies, the United States has allies, it goes nuclear. It's better to prevent a war at all.
Taiwan War caused extinction. What uniquely about the Taiwan War ensures extinction?
Taiwan is a United States ally, we value their independence. We're going to come to their aid.
US and China war caused, the argument is just US China war causes extinction.
Yes.
Why does it prevent proliferation? Who proliferates?
Other states,
Like,
potential proliferators like our EU allies. So
like, South Korea does not have nukes. Japan does not have nukes.
yeah, that's what proliferation is. The obtainment of nuclear weapons is.
Why does that mean that more states will use nuclear weapons if they have them?
If you're going to build nuclear weapons, you have the intention of using them. These states do not have them right now because they're under the United States nuclear umbrella. They feel that they're protected. They do not need the nuclear weapons. If they proliferate, they plan to use them.
Alright, I'll send it.
Or
Give me a sec.
send it.
Sure. Yeah.
Just be careful with this.
Yeah, I'll just use that.
Okay. Because I don't want to break your stand.
7 case 1-2.
I'm waiting. I said I'm waiting. I'll let you know.
I'm good.
I'm not.
You good?
1 second. You said 7?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. The outcome specified the established substantial reduction in the weights needed for each redundant pepper flash makers key was with the details of reduction measurements and anything else also usually what I was like terrible objects to the morning of the preparation enforcing the legislature aspects and to level union associated. They don't want to see the outcome substantial reduction to the measurements to military presence space and elementary presence to proceed to visit Congress agrees and CR 22 God was limited God anything else allows actually produce any form of tolerance from God's ships of all things unpredictable and effectively if it's not good must bring out this list Caleb so whether be too small after contest always is needed also is one telling anything else to spend his education at some of the 50 states should suspend the administration of the federal because as well we do plan counter the pieces also Wilbur 21 season but was on the represent message of so and October 16 should federal law this is what physical and national was the all the seats for was conjunction state was changed federal because from over extension how long was 19 and much of the career working on change also just going to states in the first one power constitution exaltation legislature saw that anybody must mention never glass to some unique form of plus one is in powers like to see next up the US delegate teachers and to talk about determinations of the plan is case is like 20 surgeries who is also a public because it's on the boxing including for the publish how to do it is present with positive to the purposes of trying to pursue policies that don't pursue these and decisions of these and politicians are going to make it so the surgeries are on the juries for the infrastructure on the organization extinction of the matter has no good benefits attention to abstractions citizens actually on the issue was to go national and political and has a great individuals job reassurance national reassurance by the way compared with navigate 20 minutes use for me because you use Mrs. everyone just cause college you and every job is going to be actually norms and kill extinction methods of teenage energy privacy like function one can key to a certain position of your right position education current coming media physical liability which not compatibilizing and not compatibilizing anything you work Japan Australia and Vietnam Philippines and Taiwan and so responsibility I just give it really much demonstrated effect here with Spec. So one thing it does not say credit because it just says being the kind of cautious and natural. So which I want to agree with the way after not a good idea and the response to which is you sense is what's being done because I should have always negative nothing in these contexts or it's a possible change or judgments and comment in control you to say your food. You could shoot up as you ran one among people must
Clear.
Dictated by the example between maybe it's up to 6 and office go well. It negates the turn up and you start to do more obligation. What about is to what the penalty is was compared with the arbitrary would on to keep out of education which I was considered out. You know, all the back when you see so you earn at some conference and what's about education always sees a person which is with any benefit because of films that choosing would be the chances of firms if it's a possible infinite case. Advantage once you're that's also the episode what's calling the only any potential back to statements and plans thoughts on no reason why miscommunication occurs because it's showing on you as social stable outcast. That's what you call it. First, we're going to work with the returns as well. It's everybody that's showing that and various as well show what is the name of the post. It's an important one. The impulse is on the privately opposite. It's asking the leading Sean Cho who and the situation. It wants to vision moment. Informing social media and social media was a press consultant with the system. It was a stable technology. New Brazil, dominations for example, involve all countries, but it was essentially revisions to the media withdraw in future with authors which one. Even if they seek diplomacy, they were choosing one negotiation for like anything called like 23 one of the cooperation with study with the relation with the UAE, with an opportunity which are closer to study with the only country has never to for even good running negotiation especially by combinations with the world. Nuclear war living phase in 22 and you could think about the diplomacy and say which is destroyed and one consumer works in Saudi Turkey, Egypt as well. one terrorist elements nuclear and lose nukes. Middle East was more unlikely than ever. Colin was inactive in conflicts with subsea security we ignored. That was Johnson's never any question. Continuing counters on the goal seeming going to be slower than the anti the past 50 years. So power vacuum, these tables in the region more than 23. These were essentially issued in the substitute, which the US and positive after the long term principle and ensuring which is Afghanistan to expose the danger process to the region after triggering the use to also pretty much also precipitate massive cheaper than with risk of aligning militias with access to business in Turkey, with the launcher of offensive in the sites, which on the window. Here, one to tell the person who exists what he uses. Should have always finding a clear inflating process of using person and homes and investigations to region control was committed preventing and outreach was the process or process not affected. Taking machine if there were any critical closer because there was special reassurance recommended to be committed to maintain security. No terminal to terror of any issue. And we were the DLB attention. One for obviously the one Ukraine so we will DLB practically was computer many model. But it's also what is an incredible in town for one out and within a week. Washington will get that back in business by going to the state industry. Other than both as long as those very chance will Detroit nuclear strikes back for 21 nuclear conflict with the position of the regional one kind of cost with the other state retaliate resulting in as well towards the Joe as the nuclear level attacking the first Russian mind need to ensure that the not Russian transparency that's actually to plan but it's going to what that the US is not permitted to defend the issues Russia but it's likely to deter an national active because the presuming peace cannot solve here was also that we should refrain from deploying what she thought that we should remove it and insert this in Korean and Chinese regional hegemony is possibly no multi one regional hegemony is possibly unless you knew has been adventure to use the one exception in this also larger year the Chinese thing with not seeing the especially starting on the United States where so actually which you actually should not shout on which was the advantage was 21 Alice in successful years, not just on which services was so here makes the GBC overseeing from the first use country and the anyway some trying different and second not pursue military advantages as you can see with option of the France and 15 mentioned the American policy concern was the English and the European opportunity and the rest of the countries along with rather than against America one use to station country one policy foreign policy about orientation historical investment considerations and security relationship with leverage and internal innovation 21 trends on the contemporary work and innovation policy on this and colleagues on how to measure sheets and who was his public reactions to escape them will not make without any time strong cause would develop modernization and crisis and capability on positive power open in partition Ukraine will not remain for Chinese black and plastic building forces and she says the attitude related to point videos is very long on the China general authority so G-cells which is what's in the country which are going to have two detective and officers so we which are opportunities it was which is a good competition by 20 which is a good very competitive region you want to be able to reach across high national every country under subsidy but also the cause of by Washington the European nation by Asian areas because of no point symbol 23 and actually what's here would be during national hostility religious separate objectives is actually an accident to the best way to pursue security combination of that solution and within a nuclear process and civil relation of political practice also going in the windows 10 to high quality WDs use cut symbol after use. Good.
Status? All.
Conditional.
Okay. Is there anything on the doc that you didn't read?
No.
Okay. Did you read anything off the document?
I read everything on the document.
Was there anything that you said that was not that you read that was not on the document?
Nothing was extracted on one C.
Okay.
You're welcome.
The last off consequentialism or determinism. What is it?
The argument is that people are material beings require things like abide by the laws of physics. The laws of physics says that everything is like sort of predetermined.
So why is this offense for you?
Because the affirmative countermeasure moral application and determinism negates. For example, I guess like if we take like gravity for example, and I find an apple and I drop it, obviously it is predetermined to fall to the floor. It will not like go in any other way. It will not go up because gravity pushes everything down.
Why does that mean that determinism negates? Why is this a reason to vote negative?
Sure, Coin develops this specific syllogism and says that people are material objects, they abide by the laws of physics, the people would abide by the laws of physics as well. It also applies to states.
What does that mean?
The Coin evidence is pretty clear.
That we abide by the laws of physics, that means that it's offense for you how?
It negates.
That what negates?
So in the resolution implies a moral obligation.
Correct.
If we are correct, then we cannot be morally culpable for actions that we do not freely choose to do so. For example, if I did not have a chance to like opt out of an action, if I and if I had two choices, I could, or if I did not have any choices and I was forced to take one specific action, I was predetermined to take that action, I cannot be held and will be culpable for that because it was determined in advance.
Okay. The second counterclaim, what is the citizen oversight juries?
The counterclaim says that the U.S. federal government should pick juries from like the people of the U.S.
How is this competitive with the app?
It is a process counterclaim. It alters the process of the affirmative.
Okay, what process does this go through and what's the net benefit?
The process is delineated in the counterclaim text. I can explain process
Okay,
counterclaim.
what is the net benefit to this counterclaim?
Net benefit is that there's currently a citizen elite divide. For example, people think, I guess I'll read a direct line, 71% thinks that the officials do not care about them, 67% think that politicians are corrupt. There's existing a citizen elite divide, which represents evidence indicates the counterclaim solves, or the counterclaim solves the citizen elite divide.
Okay, then, that's totally fine. The case page, you write everything on the case page.
Did not read code v 21.
Okay,
See if there's something else.
yeah, okay, that's fine. Right. Okay. 15 seconds left. I'll send the document. Okay, it's sent. The order is gonna be the case page, advantage 1, advantage 2, and then spec, topicality, 50 state counterplan, the consult, jury's counterplan, the assurances disadd, and then the determinism and C.
Okay.
Okay. Is anybody not good for me to start?
Case off, right?
Yeah, in order.
One and two, one is wrong. We're going to explain why Iran is revision is below, but miscommunication. I want to say two is also wrong because miscommunication is a uniquely key to sparking low, where there are tensions right now which are causing crossing conflicts. We cannot communicate with people that we are almost at war. We are almost at war, and the cat's evidence, 1 and C3 cat's evidence, 1 and C cat's evidence is wrong. We have our specific evidence that we're seizing Iranian oil tankers there. We are there. They're reacting to that. They're angry that we're in the that we are in the region. All their evidence assumes that the United States is in the region and doing these things. That's the thing which means that Iranian. Which means that 1 and C4 is also wrong. Iran is not revisionist. They're defensive realists, which means that they think there is a limit to the United States power. They think that the United States should stop seizing all their oil and their oil tankers in the region and stop being aggressive towards them. They're only afraid the United States is going to try to seize their region. They do not think that they are capable of expanding past. That. That's our pillar evidence, which disproves the 1 and C4, 1 and 2, 1 and what else? Answers all their Iranian answers everything about Iranian revision because everything all their impacts are predicated on the internal thing that Iran is revision. And if we win that Iran is a defensive realist, that means that they do not get any offense off this. Their Carlin evidence is wrong because we're winning that Iran is reactionary to the United States, present in the United States. And the Mormon evidence is also wrong because the EU fills in. They've conceded that the EU is going to fill in for the United States after the United States leaves, which means that we preserve our diplomacy with European forces. Go to what European forces we're going to see no Taiwan invasion. Go to the offs. First is counter-interpretation, the app must be talkable. First is offense, arbitrariness, non-resolutionary theories, unpredictableness, shifting goalposts after one, so you exclude substantive debates, disincentivizing research and class. Second is defense, cross-sex checks, and then we'll inevitably have to prepare for more multiple strategies. So pre-round is nonsense, and two is that counter-intercept stalls are arbitrariness, offense, and their around offense. And three is to use reasonability to prevent substance counter. Hard debate is good debate, and interventions are inevitable. Go to T. One is you should use plan text in the vacuum. Violation must be the plan's mandates and not its effects. Plan text in a vacuum is the least arbitrary because it avoids violation from impact cards and guarantees links and counterpoint compensation. Counter-interpretation is a military presence includes large airfields, force preposition equipment, ammunition, and military supplies. Mohani 18. Use for support simple written agreements with the United States project and private influence abroad the United States political corporate and use for the protection of the United States commitment enabled the United States project should have an influence in installation on all by the United States into the US forces and you should prefer for after on the top four controversy about the reduction of military forces and activities and deals etc. You should use reasonability also about. Go to the 50 states counterpart. One is a permutation two ball, two is permutation do the counterpart, and three is that you can have 50 state field as voter excuse which faces no out literature assumes the uniform field and divorces based on the topic. You should grant us one area which you should grant us one area because it's key to check back beats and there's some levels of beats that are wrong, but reasonability checks back against checks back against terrible theory, but this is just ridiculous. The time scale also goes on, the time scale also goes to the affirmative and there's a deficit. The 50 states cannot organize the military to be pulled out of the Middle East. Go to the sortation counterpart. The process counterparts are voting should be minimized after by the total action of the plan and preventing restrictions. And also just product the process counterparts that erode substantive controversy for prevents most critical thinking and the deficits are still the same. The sortition cannot pull the states out of the Middle East and there's a delay deficit because there's a delay deficit because we need to plot right having extension are extremely high. Principle and permutation due to the counterline. Go to the distance. One is that credibility is hammered broadly. It's found that the United States pulling out of the nuclear deal, poor Saudi relations, and withdrawal from Iraq and Afghanistan. That's all over hell evidence. And the link about credibility is wrong. Lesson 22. Hot on the next credibility, Chinese whatever goes on the credibility argument is analytical fantasy, not very credible, or change the relation to before the credibility acts actual, which will be considered provided a good argument. And McGee concedes that Afghanistan self-we insert purple, go to determinism. Determinism is wrong because we prove free will. The role of the battle is to vote for the who did the better debate because everything is all self-serving and arbitrary. You should use epsilon and modesty because it determines the value of the relative risk of each member, which is still way to be able to weigh the contention level off based on the relative risk of those framers. And the physical determinism does not go negative. It goes determinism is a neutral statement, which means that they don't get offense off the shell.
R2. Everything was right on T in theory, right?
Yes. Oh man, sorry, that's a lie.
What was not right?
We didn't read limits, explosion, inevitable. We didn't read functional limits.
50 state voter, process counter plan is bad. That's it.
50 and 50 state. Process counter plan is 50 state.
Cool. What's the word for aesthetic modesty?
We have to determine the relative risk of each framework, so it's the best of both worlds we met in the middle.
arguments.
Where at the top?
Yeah, just like towards the top.
Okay.
And then it's going to be the counterpoints, disad, and then the NC, and then maybe this.
Okay. The theory, both counterplans, assurances disad, determinism, and C case.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright.
One second. Okay, is there a document?
No.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. 3 framing issues for every 1 or 3 argument. The only one for why they get 1 or 3 was that there's infinite abuse. Conceded that there's no 1 or 3 because there's no infinite abuse. That was one, and the 1 and 2 that was a 6 stop. It specifically says no infinite abuse, which means that they do not get 1 or 3. Second voting, the second framing issues that they conceded, they have not been dropped to the debater. Which is at worst, at best, you should just drop the argument. You should drop the argument. A point is very variable. If you don't get the death penalty, doing pencil being slightly abuse just fair loss because it's proportional key to modeling the judicial process to its topic. A point drop being centralized my theory, which keeps on to these subscribe. We put the trouble argument allows us to go back for substance, which always because only portable method sequence kills innovation is made so one. There's a theory which has deep research and sequence is baiting the encourage purpose are obvious equivalents of these charts and there's one problem. There's one problem proved by Turner scripting content picks, theory weights and what was a TD plus intervention was talking about on Oblivion theory. Encourages the chance of advantage to something incorrectly, which is definitionally unfair process counterplans. Germane to the topic of good A point is ground plus counterplans are essential. For flexibility on a topic of zero decide, but they can defend tiny instances of multi-friends with hyper-specific key ones. The alternative is endless debates with the state. No, the alternative is just endless debates with random counterplans. 2 is rigorous testing class counterplans test the intrinsicness of each advantage. So you should vote for the best policy option. It's most real with the key to logic. Now next is best policy. They can be self-written plan text to clarify the agent. Now the first and have the first and last speech. They say 50 states counterplans are bad question mark. The cooperative federalist counterplan is not a 50 states counterplan, but rather it modifies the process. It is an agent counterplan, but rather it's an agent counterplan. Also, I did not catch a worm. I did not catch a worm for it in the 1 year, which is that I did not catch a worm for it in the 1 year. I don't think you did either, which is that you should not allow the trigger to sort of sandbag on these arguments that NC theory comes first. It means that they were abusive within the first place. So the only reason why I was abusive is because they were. Yeah. Now go for counterplans didn't mean condo. Stop. Vote net for mods with the affordance has to specify the percentage substantial and the 180 rather than model in which the affordance is encouraged to be as big as shifty as possible and ways to tell stairs to the 1 or 2 defend to stay with the defend their temperature will kill negative because it prevents us from going in depth. And when in a case like the contestant wants to be affording gives less than 3 minutes to figure out what the 1 and 2 will be that comes clash fairness to exacerbate infinite pet and forcing us to generic since only you can engage in the specificity also destroys negative structure. The lack of incentivizes shifty 1 years on what the percentage is i.e. 1 year can pivot to like, oh, it's a 99% substantial reduction, so 1% substantial reduction, which is endlessly arbitrary internal terms are arbitrary in a standard, and it also lacks negative engagement because you never have stable ground distance and counterplans. Now, the lack of specification leads to 1 advocacy shift to dealing with distance and negating impossible because you don't know what the active fence until the 1 year and the 2 year. It's too late for new positions. The counter-interpret is locking a period, saying which the active's infinite prep is not able to cut pre-round prep or even use in-round prep because you don't know what the active fence is negative. We'll always leave behind because they're stuck shooting in a moving target. Only the firm knows what we're defending other cues. The topic of the story that 1 year might shift to say that there's a 1% substantial reduction or a 3%, which obviously takes out the assurance statistic because allies won't think that the obviously won't kill credibility because the US is barely reducing on any military defense. Also takes out the deterrence system because China and Russia won't want to vote because they know that the majority of the US defense is going to be that we should assurances and deterrences are the main case on this specific topic. Anything else means that we have to read generic process campaigns, generic say bad critiques, which are read on every single topic and prepped out every single time. No generic argument in the 1 year means that it is try or die for a next strategy outweighs one is intrinsic degree. It's a competitive game where both sides have an equal chance of winning. Ultimately, we'll both here to win, which is a fairness is non-negotiable side country. Even if French operation is a perfectly modeled decision, there's no impact because the reading game not educate access to its reversibility. You can always read in literature or learn about decision making calculus. This program is only impact the outcome result in. And it's only the impact of the outcome resolved. Now, there are 2 unique questions occurring about A. One is that the neg is getting roasted because a huge topic of plan, but there are tons of affirmatives, Turkey, Iraq, Syria, Israel, Persian Gulf, etc. While there are barely any neg goods, there might be the assurances or the deterrences deficit, and everything else is way too generic. And it's not specific to this topic. The 1 year did not have a defensive case list on what arguments. The negative can read under the interpretation, which means that you should err towards 200 arguments, and the 2 year is way too late for cases because it was not in the 1 year. Now, framing issue on every 1 year argument is that they were very, very, very blippy, barely had any word. I barely caught a word for any of these arguments. The Twitter should not be able to stand by these. If you did not see a word in the 1 year, you should not vote for it in the Twitter. You should not vote for it in the Twitter. Also, their interpretation is very, very bad. It says that the act must be topical. No, this is special. It is not topicality. Now, their offense, arbitrariness, they say non-resolution theory is unpredictable, no ground for what non-resolution theory is, and even so, this is not non-resolution theory because it says that you should specify military presence, which is definitely resolution theory. They say ask ground, no reason why it means, there's no reason why our interpretation means that you get one affirmative. Again, this is spec, this is not topicality. You would obviously get multiple affirmatives, like every spec affirmative, but our interpretation just mandates that you have to specify within the 1AC, which does not bracket out your offense. Even so, we have provided a case as to why which dissets we these, which is also not new because it was in the 1 and C. They say causing strikes, asking causing fails because apenness people instead of us give judges to waste the X time. A lot of 1 year judges don't follow even if you don't personally follow CSX question models. There's infinite judges who don't know all judges think that CDCX but the 1 year can still shift and links to all of us shifting this off and stable because only with context of all of us stable basis for net ground as JavaScript I should I get to CX which should choose to set up my 1 and C not to ask clarification questions or I should use CX to expose flaws in the 1 and C not to ask clarification questions on verifiability. We don't know whether they would have actually specified people have an incentive to be as shitty as possible. CX you should error negative. That normal means that it's very bad word, but also doesn't solve the Twitter. It's again you just something to 1 year definitions. It's also unfair forces to 1 year story. We're just saying and even the last things are just which is bad because they can shift in the Twitter because they can. Shifting the Twitter, is it counter assault office? No, they named the e-conduct protocol. They said that is not this on this topic. It also can't solve because you already explained the positions that we lose above.
Okay. Prep. What was the answer to reasonability?
I don't think that the 1 year or 2 year is going to win defense. Enough defense on the show.
Okay. Case spec. Is anyone not good for me to start?
Good.
The 200 high school conceded case means that every single offense is a reason for you to vote affirmative insofar as we're last and insofar as we're winning the theory. We're winning the theory. Shall I run more cousin extinction? The United States on the first of our tax about our first section. The United States because they're reacting to the United States, which means that we're trying to ensure victory. That ensures certified extinction. There's 100% risk of our impact. Go to the spectrum. We're gonna win reasonability. Reasonability was conceded. Not enough defense to be one of the two. If we win any recent defense, that is a reason for you to vote affirmative. Our interpretation is that ass must be topical. We're gonna do more work on that below. But our interpretation is not that theory is bad, but the nonsensical theory is bad. Ass are going to have to be topical. It solves a reasonable portion of their offense while holding the line on what the norms for what the norms of debate should be. If you vote negative, and if they're even if you're voting negative, even if they are correct, that they have some risk to often the act of voting on a theory shown with a marginal piece of offense through competing interpretations encourages debaters to continue reading these shells, which are as long as judges are willing to vote on it. Who are going for substance crowd as reasonable as offense under reasonability. That's conceded substance crowd, which there's 100% risk over what you're doing. There's 100% risk over impact. You should have a very, very low bar for what it takes to vote affirmative in this debate. If it's reading this shell and voting negative, there's a reason why they set more bad norms in the future. Debaters are going to flock to the worst margin insofar as judges are willing to vote on it. Are you really willing to contribute to that? Are really willing to the discussion? We have come here to debate about the topic whether or not we should pull out of the Middle East. And our model debate, there's still theory, but it's safe for one teams are genuinely abusive, like when they read two process counterplans that they don't end up going for on the 200. The abuse of the violation has to outweigh the abuse of theory. Reading a bunch of linking theory shells. This was 10 seconds of the 1 and C, and I'm spending the entire 3 minutes of the 2 hours answering it. We spent over 30 seconds in the 1 hour answering this. But did it really lose any ground? They got full length to the assurance system. We went for a uniqueness push, which proves that there is no net ground. We don't know what type of offense they're going for, but which means that if we prove no in-round abuse and that they endorse a bad model of debate, that's enough reason for you to vote affirmative. There's a clear that the bright line of reasonability is irrelevant because the impact of substance collateral outweighs the abuse story, and then it's sufficient to vote out, which sets a metric for how the judges can resolve reasonability without actually intervening, which means that any risk of our defense is enough for you to vote affirmative. We're going for cross-ex checks. They said that you don't flow cross-ex, and that cross-ex is for strategy and not clarification questions. But cross-ex can be used for clarification questions, and cross-ex is a binding speech that can be brought up in the future. And they said that prep time isn't enough, but all of these asks on the topic do not actually defend 2 or 3%. And if you read a topicality show that defines substantial and they meet the interpretation, then you can have that debate. Our counter-interpretation is that asks must be topical for that exact reason. They could have read what substantial reduction actually means, and we'd have met or we'd have had that debate, which checks out against all of these and solves all of our arbitrary offense, and also guarantees them ground because T sets debates and norms, not ridiculous theory shots, which means that you're voting out on reasonability and substance cutout. Good debate.